Hello everyone and welcome to the LevelUp WebDev YouTube channel. Today we are going to learn how to add Google Analytics to a vue.js application. So we will start by assuming that you already have a vue.js application set up. If you don't know how to do that, it's pretty easy to get a simple app started. But for right now, we're going to assume that we're working with an app that we're getting ready to deploy or already have deployed out on the web somewhere, and now we want to get some analytics for that application. To start off here, I started out with a basic Vue app, just Vue create app name through the Vue CLI. And then I also added vuetify, which I find to be a very helpful library to use. It has a lot of components built in. So I just went ahead and added vuetify to my very basic vue.js app. So if we have a simple application like this, let's assume now that we're getting ready to deploy this or have this app already out there on the web, and we want to know how do our users get to our website, or maybe once they're at our website already, how do they interact with our website? Which buttons did they click? Which interactions are they choosing to engage with on our website? So one of the best options I found to track analytics on your users and their interactions is to use Google Analytics. So if you go to the Google Analytics page and click Start for free, you will need a Google account and you can go ahead and complete the sign up process, but it's pretty simple. And after you do that, you will have a pretty bare bones looking dashboard for your app. And right now, since you don't have anything set up yet, you won't really see much in here. But you can go ahead and get the account set up. So after doing quite a bit of research on this to add analytics to my own website, I found out that the vue-gtag library that we're looking at here is one of the more recent and robust libraries for adding Google Analytics to your Vue app. So if you go to the Vue gtag documentation site, I can link that in the description below. You can find out exactly what you need to do to add gtag to your app. So pretty easy, just do an npm add vue-gtag. So let's go ahead and stop this really quick and go ahead and do that. And I'll go ahead and install it. And then after you do the install, we just have to go into our main file and add this vue-gtag reference with our Google Analytics ID. So let's go ahead and take a look in our project. We just need to go in here to our main.js file, paste this segment from the documentation. And now we're going to need to go ahead and update this ID with our ID from the Google Analytics account we just created. So let's go back to Chrome. Now you'll start off on this home page, but if you go to admin and then go to property settings, you'll see this tracking ID in here. This is the tracking ID for your app that you just set up. So let's go ahead and go back in and substitute this value right here for the tracking ID that we just found and save that. Before I forget, let's make sure that we are actually importing vue-gtag. So let's do import vue-gtag from vue-gtag and save. That way we will not get an error when we try to run and use vue-gtag. So let's look at our web page again. And let's say that we want to add analytics to this latest release button. So we'll go back and find the button. I believe it is this button right here. So on that button, we'll add click to button clicked. And then down here, we will add a section for methods. And we'll do button clicked and add a comma there. Okay, so now when the button's clicked, we're going to want to emit an event. So let's go back to the vue-gtag documentation. And if you scroll down under methods and click event, you can see an example of what an event will look like. So we're going to just, for now, take this little snippet of code right here. Actually, we might have gotten an extra bracket. That's okay. Let's get rid of that. So now that we have the basic template for an event here, let's go look at Google's documentation for an event. So there's actually 4 parts to the event: category, action, label, and value. So you can read more about what each of those refer to here, but the label and value are optional. Category and action are required. So if we go back here, let's fix this indenting. So the action for our purposes here, we'll just do latest, release, click. Event category, we'll just call this documentation. And for event label, this is going to be kind of a more human readable description. So we'll just say latest, release, button clicked. Now for simple button clicks like this, you may not want the value, but if you're going to count or do some analysis, I like to just put 1 to indicate that the button was clicked once. And maybe for your use case, that value will be a dollar amount or some other quantity. But for now, that's all we need, so we will go ahead and save. Now that we have our event all wired up, we go ahead and start our server again with npm run serve, and we'll give that a sec to start back up. In the meantime, we can go back into our Google Analytics page here and go back to the home page. And if we go under real time, you can just click overview. So right now, this actually does work when you're running it locally. It will look a little bit different running this locally from actually having it deployed, but if you're running it locally, you can just test it out. So we have 0 active users, and now we can double check that we are running here and everything looks good to go. So if we go back and go to our app and click this latest release button, actually, let's go ahead and so after that reload, now if we go in here, we have 1 active user on the website, so that's what we would expect. And if we click the latest release button here, it will actually follow the link that was in there. So other than just the overview page, we can scroll down here and look at events. And if we look here, we have a click on, or we have a latest release click action, categories documentation, and a value of 1. So that's what we would expect to see. So if you click the button, now we get the analytic we would expect. In addition, if you go into some of these other tabs, you can get some really good information about where your users are visiting from and all sorts of extra data that you didn't even ask for. So very robust, very helpful information there. I will go ahead and link those resources in the description below. If you do have questions, please feel free to leave a comment or leave a like on this video if this helped you out. Please feel free to subscribe if you'd like to watch more web development tutorials, and thank you all so much for watching.